Hey, what's good, y'all? This is your boy MJ. Welcome back to the Mile High Club. This is a video I had no intention of filming today, but given some recent circumstances, I'm just really compelled to try to express my mind and just vent a little bit over certain things that have happened. Nothing too serious. I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea, but long story short, I've come to make a decision where I would have to make a certain sacrifice to something fairly recent that came to me, but at the same time, something I'm taking a lot of care and thought into. And I don't want to get into specifics because I don't want to make things too personal, but yeah, so right now I've had a lot on my mind. Today has been far from easy. It definitely been a very rough day, needless to say. I mean, outside of getting minor things done like errands and stuff and all that, you know, my adult life and everything. Yeah, I've had a lot of thoughts just going back and forth in my mind, you know, what's best, you know, for myself, and what do I think is just better for everyone other than myself. So, like I said, I'm really trying not to get into specifics because I just don't want to make things too weird or anything like that. But if anything, I do want to talk about how I feel that making sacrifices don't have to be a bad thing all the time. You know, they don't always have to be something to really dwell on or, you know, just feel so painful about, you know, because there's always a way to turn your pain into something that can help you grow, which I feel is something that a lot of people tend to not understand, or they just tend to, you know, underestimate, you know, the power of perspective and how to turn anything bad that's going on in your life into something that can be good for you, whether in a productive way or just in a way that can make you feel much happier, you know, for yourself and for other people. So, like I said, I just feel like a lot of people, I want to believe that they just don't think about it, or they just don't, they dwell so easily on the negative of any bad scenario going on in their life. You know, in my case, for example, and again, it's nothing too serious, I really want to stress that, but it is something that disappoints me. It's something I'm very sad about and very questionable about, but I've already made a firm decision on it, and I think it's good. I think it's the best decision. It's not the easiest decision by far, but in the long term, I do believe it's better for myself and for the people around me, all around. Like I said, I know I said this 3 times now, but I'm gonna say it again. I don't want to go into the specifics. But anyway, getting back to my point. So, what's going on in my life now, in this current situation, I'm doing my best to make light of it, which is always possible to do in any situation, whether it's, you know, I mean, especially if it's bad, but you know, you can always find a good thing in any bad scenario, which is easier said than done. You know, don't get me wrong. I mean, if it was that easy, a lot of people would know about it or would know how to, or would know how to deal with it better. But it's not always easy. You know, some circumstances may be much more difficult than others, which makes it even more difficult to find the light side of those scenarios. Excuse me. But it's always possible. It's always possible. For me, I'm definitely having a hard time trying to find that possibility. But with that said, given the sacrifices I have to make, I can now focus on myself a lot more. I can manage my income a lot more. I can spend more time for myself. I'm starting to sound, kind of, to myself, but I can have a much more easier time prioritizing a lot of things. Given, the sacrifice I have to make. And overall, and I kind of hate to say this because it sounds kind of bad, but I just feel like in the long term, it's going to help me out a lot more to make this certain sacrifice. And again, not that it's a big deal or whatever, but it is a little bit disappointing for me. But with all that said, they say that letting go of certain things can help you grow stronger, which is what I'm hoping to come out of this. I'm hoping that given this current sacrifice I have to make, and many other sacrifices I'm sure will come in the future, that in the end I will grow from making these tough decisions, and that I will not be held back in any sort of way, because I've gone too far in my life to have certain things hold me back. I've gone too far. I've been through a lot of hell. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I've been through, the most hell out of anybody. I've heard people go through much more hell than I have. But, for me in my life, I really need to separate, what's been hellish for me, and from everybody else, because everybody else has their own lives, and I have to a certain extent, focus on my life, and I say to a certain extent because I care a lot about people. I care about my friends, family, and all that, so I want to make time for them. But at the end of the day, I have to focus on myself. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm hoping that given the circumstances I have to, given the sacrifices I have to make, that I'll grow by the end of it. Because I'm sure all my disappointment, all my feelings, they'll subside eventually. Right now, it's just kind of hard because it's been fairly recent. But I am looking to grow from this, and I'm sure I will. And in the long term, I really am convinced that things will get better. They just have to. I mean, I've gone too far in my life. I've been through a lot of hell. And again, I'm not trying to compare, my level of hell to other people, but for me, in my life, I've been through a lot. And I'm still young, so I still have a lot more obstacles and a lot more disappointment heading my way. I can't say when they're gonna happen or how bad they're gonna be, but I know they're coming, and I'll have to do my best to prepare myself. I don't have to worry about that anytime soon, hopefully. Right now, I can only focus on what I'm going through now and how to get through it. And I do have plans. I have plans to get through it. I have ideas. Trying to prepare myself as much as I can. Sometimes preparations can only go so far. Not every plan works out the way you expect it to. So I am expecting to, improvise as much as I can to go through it and all that. But at the end of the day, I can only do my best. But I have high hopes that I'll get through this. And like I said, in the long term, I think it's going to be best for me and for everybody else who I'm close to. So, but anyway, that pretty much about covers it. Yeah, I just really wanted to vent and have this discussion with y'all, and I really would love to hear what y'all's thoughts on this certain topic is too. In regards to making sacrifices, letting things go, how to improve from from making your sacrifices, how to grow strong from making these difficult, bold decisions, and how to not always look at every negative as solely just a negative, and how to turn that negative into a positive. Because I feel like a lot of people underestimate the power of perspective, and how you choose to look at certain things can definitely leave a huge impact. So whatever you feel is negative, you can try to look at it as a positive, and doing so could potentially open new doors for discussions, debates, and all that. And I feel like that could definitely be beneficial to you and to whoever you decide to discuss this with, because during these times it's really best to talk through things with whoever you might be butting heads with, or whatever dilemma is going on in your life. It's better to talk things out first, other than making it lead to something else that might be worse. But anyway, I'm gonna cut it off here. I don't want to go for much longer. So please let me know what you think about everything I said, and if you have any tips or any ideas on how to deal with making difficult decisions, making sacrifices, and all that, definitely feel free to put them down in the comments. And I'm cutting it off here. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening, and hope to see you guys soon. Thank you so much.